Hello, this is Vanessa and I teach Ableton Live at Navi Music Center. Today we're going to be talking about warping. Right now I have a DJ setup. Here are two audio tracks, which I call Deck A and Deck B. These are my two turntables. I enable the crossfader and I assign each side of the crossfader to each track. Since I was trying to replicate a typical DJ mixer, I also added EQ on each track, so I'm gonna switch from the clip view to the device view by hitting Shift Tab. And here's my EQ for Deck A, and this is my EQ for Deck B. And I call this EQB, and I call the EQ on Deck A EQA. So I brought a song from iTunes to my DJ setup, and I'm gonna hit Shift Tab to switch from the device view to the clip view. And when I bring a song from iTunes, Ableton warps it. And what that means is that Ableton analyzes the song and it tries to guess the tempo of the song. Here in this section, we have what Ableton thinks the tempo of the song is. So it thinks it's 83 BPM. Now, Ableton Live is pretty good at guessing what the tempo of a song is, but it's not perfect all the time. So that's why we need to understand what warping is and how to warp a song manually in case Ableton Live doesn't do a good job at guessing what the tempo of the song is. So we're gonna go to the clip view. First, I would like to hide the info view and also the browser. If you notice, when we hover the mouse to different sections in Ableton Live, the pointer changes. So for example, here, I'm gonna click, hold, and drag up. So now I expanded the clip view and I can see the waveform a little bit better. We can see over here that the warp button is enabled. And again, here is what Ableton thinks the tempo of this song is. So I'm gonna hover the mouse by these little numbers above my bit grid. And if you notice, the mouse pointer changes to a magnifying glass. I'm gonna click, hold, and slide down to zoom in. If you want to zoom out, you just click, hold, and slide up. But I want to zoom in, so I'm gonna click, hold, and slide down. So we can see the waveform in more details. If you notice, around here we have these little white dashes. These little white dashes are called transient markers, and a transient occurs every time there is a volume spike. Ableton Live uses these transients to determine the song's tempo. Also, if you look at this, we have a warp marker. This little green thing here is a warp marker. If you hover the mouse to the transient markers, you will notice that it will become a so-do warp marker. If we double click it, we will create a new warp marker, and then we can click, hold, drag that, and stretch the audio. But for now, I don't want that, so I'm gonna Command Z. If we zoom out, we can see that there is only one warp marker. So now, if I play this clip, it should adhere to my global tempo, which is right here. So let's play this clip, and if I speed up the global tempo, the clip should speed up, and if I slow it down, the clip should slow down. But let's see if that happens. It's adhering to the global tempo, but I'm not sure if Live gets the correct tempo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enable the metronome, and I'm gonna pay attention to make sure the song is on beat. So I'm gonna click on the metronome, and I'm gonna play this song again. Okay, the first 8 bars sound pretty good, but I want to make sure it doesn't drift later on. So if we hover the mouse to this area right here, we can launch the clip at different times. So I'm gonna click right here. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Now I'm gonna check in this section. Okay, that sounds pretty good, but that's not always the case. That's why it is important for us to know how to warp in case Ableton Live doesn't guess the tempo correctly, and we need to fix tempo variations.